Listen, you don't have to be booty-ful to be beautiful. What's up, everyone? This is Elizabeth, the Minister of Beauty, and I'm talking about this subject, and it's not something that is old. It's been around for some time now, and we're talking about the booty. On Beauty Wednesdays on this channel, I want to talk about something that's beauty related, whether it's the good, the bad, or the ugly of beauty. But there's this model, and I'll put the link to the story in the description box, who had her assets enlarged and increased to be about 54 inches, and now she's regretting it, and she's wanting to warn other girls, mainly, and some women, against doing this. I'm glad she's sharing her story. We all know that people that have come out and have claimed to have these botched butt jobs in hotel rooms, or wherever it happened, by somebody who is not a medical doctor, pumping them up with silicone, and just other things, Fix-a-Flat, and other crazy things that they're using to increase the size of women's bodies, is absolutely crazy. We're not even talking about the legitimate plastic surgeons who are doing Brazilian butt lifts and those types of medical procedures, because that is a different category. We're not even talking about that, because honestly, I don't think there are many medical doctors that are going to increase the assets of someone to the point where it's like a ridiculous size for their posterior. Yeah, we've seen it with the breast jobs, where people have had these immensely large, I don't know, like triple X, triple Z, triple, I don't know, I shouldn't even say triple X. That's another story. But having their breasts so humongous that it is causing them back issues, and then they have to go and get it removed. So I don't even think many medical doctors are doing those types of breast augmentations anymore. But when it comes to increasing the size of women's posteriors, it's become insane. You don't have to have a butt that, and honestly, it's not normal to have a butt that's like your sides come down like this, and then as soon as you get to your butt, it's like rounded out on the sides like that. It's typical to have it where it's like dipped in a little bit, and then you have some curves, and then some people don't have curves, and that's where the Brazilian butt lift procedures would come into play, with a plastic surgeon who can really make that person proportionate, make it look natural, and and then you are, for the most part, going to someone who has the certifications and the licensures and the experience. And so I don't understand what the mentality is of people who feel like they have to have a humongous posterior or asset in order to be deemed beautiful. I've always been a pretty smaller size woman, from being a girl to being the woman that I am today. I do have a little bit of curves. I'm happy with the size that I am. I am someone who's not against plastic surgery. I do believe that it has its place, but there's some things that you have to really consider the mindset of the person, and whether they may need a mental intervention before they have some procedures done, so that it's not something that you're doing just simply to please another person. Anything that you're doing for your body and your own beauty should be for yourself. As you guys know, I did have some medical work done by a certified, licensed, very experienced plastic surgeon in 2017, where I had an abdominoplasty, or otherwise known as a tummy tuck. And that's something that I did for myself. I didn't do it for my husband. I didn't do it because I'm trying to attract other people and I'm trying to, you know, live a life that I wasn't able to live before, trying to attract attention that I wasn't able to attract anymore. I mean, before. I did it because it was something that I felt like was going to make me happy. And I did it many, many years after the fact, after having a child many years ago. I didn't do it right away. So it was something that I chose to do for me, and I like the look of it. I'm happy with it. And even though I felt like I was beautiful before, I really wanted to just enhance my looks. So it should just be to enhance. It shouldn't be because you feel like you are ugly and you want to make yourself pretty or make yourself beautiful. And having a really large booty is not about the beauty. I mean, do you walk backwards facing people so that they can see your back and see your butt? I mean, I know we're, you know, seeing that a lot on Instagram where the photos are pretty much people posing, you know, from the back, and they're turning their head around and they're doing like that and taking the picture, and it's like, that's not real life. That's not real beauty. The beauty is not in the booty. So, you know, I don't want to blame people like Jennifer Lopez. It's not her fault that she has the curves that she has, but when she started really gaining more popularity and notoriety, it was more so because of her naturally shaped curves, and people wanted to start to emulate that look. And of course, she's not the first one. I'm just saying her because that's honestly where a lot of it started to come into play, where more people were wanting to have a larger butt. It's widely known that in the countries in Africa, it's more so the African women who have the larger posteriors, and it's just natural, and it was something that a lot of black women were shunned for. And to be honest, I can remember being in middle school, even, this might sound crazy, but I can remember even being in elementary school, because my mind is pretty vivid when it comes back to that memory of things. But I remember in elementary school where some girls would tease other little girls who didn't have curves. And you might say, really, in elementary school? But yeah, I remember it. And I specifically remember this one girl that they used to tease. And I'm not laughing at her or laughing at it right now, but I'm just laughing at the fact that it's so crazy that this was elementary school and I remember this. But yeah, they used to tease this little girl and they called her Pan Booty. And Pan was like the square pan. So they were pretty much saying that her butt was flat and it was shaped like a square. So they called her Pan Booty. And she was a little girl. We were in elementary school. But you know, sometimes when you're in a younger age, you're not really thinking of you don't think of yourself as young. You just think of yourself as yourself. So looking back on that now, it's like, oh my God, we were in elementary school and people were talking about people's butts back in elementary school. But yeah, it's true. And then I remember being in middle school where the boys would, you know, talk about girls that were fat up. And they were talking about the girls' butts. And so it didn't bother me. I wasn't one of the girls who had flat features, even though I was always a pretty much slim, or shall we say, they call that skinny girl. I didn't really care about that. It was just one of those things you heard and you just, you know, it's like whatever. But yeah, they were talking about that back in elementary and middle school. So the butt has always been a thing, but having an extremely large ass is not a thing that you have to focus on for your beauty. If you just happen to have that, then you just happen to have that. But to go from being really small to having a size 54 butt is really crazy. And that's when this person should have sought some mental help. But apparently she's a model and she's not the first, probably won't be the last, but she was doing it more so for her career. And a lot of these girls that are becoming or aspiring to become Instagram models so that they can get a lot of likes and get a lot of attention and then hopefully get some endorsement deals and make money that way. That's why they're doing it. They're seeking the attention, and they're seeking things that really are not going to give them what they truly, truly need. And that's some mental reassurance and some mental help that you do not have to be booty-ful to be beautiful. So, if you had to choose, would you choose to be beautiful or booty-ful? Let me know in the comment section what you feel about it. Let me know your thoughts on the story. Again, I'll have a link to the story in the description box. And those are just my opinions and those are my thoughts. But I'm happy with my size. Yeah, I have a little bit of curve to me. I get that from my mom, and I'm skinny like my dad, and I have some curves, and I'm short like my mom. So I got some of the best and some of the worst when it comes to, my parents. It just is what it is. And I'm thankful for what I do have. So until the next video, guys, thank you so much for liking. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and hitting the bell for notifications. This is Elizabeth, the Minister of Beauty, sharing the Bible. That's business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. And I hope you all have an amazingly blessed and beautiful day.